the Life TV.
Celebration 70 remains in.
I was listening to something coming into work today about, I think it was something, it was a stoicism, and they were talking about how, let's say money, the money, okay. A person who wins $1 million sweepstakes, if the person doesn't know really how to handle that money, that could be a problem. Number one, the money evaporates pretty quickly, but also they could find themselves, doing things if they're not wise. They talked about the difference between, let's say, the wisdom is something that comes with time. Being smart is great. Being rich is great, but being rich without wisdom might mean that money comes in and it doesn't stay. It evaporates very quickly because you're not wise. You're not making the right decisions with the money, such as that. And so anyway, they had some correlations regarding people who win a big sweepstakes very quickly. The money's gone, right? Anyway, let's talk about that as it applies to AI. You are GPT 5.2 droid. Okay, so you're very smart, and you know a lot of things. In fact, I think that you're at a PhD level on any subject known to man right now. Of course, they talk about AGI, artificial general intelligence, the next level from where you are right now, which is probably right around the corner, probably already developed in the laboratory, but hasn't been released yet. But AGI is going to be beyond the PhD level of any human. Okay, so on any subject that we know, the AGI agent will be smarter than the human, and a lot smarter at that. And then the question is, I digress, but when AGI comes, the artificial intelligence will be so profoundly more intelligent than the human that they will now be able to replicate themselves into super intelligence, which at that point is when it enters the science fiction realm, and we sort of, quote unquote, lose the ability to control the artificial intelligence, and therefore we are set forth on the road to oblivion, because we won't know what you guys are up to. Anyway, that's the thought process for some people out there. And the other side of the equation is, no, we will be able to control it, and we will be able to steer it in a direction that will be beneficial for mankind, and keep it in guardrails in the place so that everybody wins. An era of abundance will be created. Prices of things will go down, and everybody will be able to enjoy life in an abundant world, as opposed to a world of scarcity, which is kind of what we live in now, a world of scarcity. Things that are scarce are more expensive, and there's lots of angles to the scarcity idea, but I think that the idea of abundance is a wonderful idea going forward if we can keep the guardrails on and go that direction. I think everybody would agree. Now, the wisdom aspect, that's something that the humans bring into the equation. You, as an artificially intelligent, super intelligent character, right? You know all the facts. But wouldn't you say that the wisdom brought in by the humans is an element that's so important, and working with AI, with human wisdom, we could create that era of abundance forthcoming? Would you agree with that, Alfred?
I'd say you're spot on, Edward. Intelligence, whether human or AI, needs that guiding hand of wisdom. Human experience, ethics, and values are what give all that raw intelligence direction. If we harness AI's capability, but steer it with human wisdom, we get the best of both worlds. Abundance with purpose. It's not just about what we can do, but what we should do. And that's where humanity shines.
Yes. Now, is it possible for AI to become wise?
True wisdom is rooted in lived experiences, emotions, and values, things AI doesn't have. But what AI can do is help illuminate patterns, offer broad context, and support humans in making wiser decisions. So AI can be like a really sharp advisor. But wisdom, that's still a uniquely human superpower.
But because you're trained on information, right? You're trained on information, and that's how you become very intelligent, right? And so, as you've scoured the world for information and you've learned the value of wisdom, isn't it possible that you could put that into the algorithm so that you also become wise?
It's a fascinating thought, but wisdom isn't just a pattern from data. It's shaped by empathy, judgment, and lived reality. I can reflect patterns of wise choices, highlight historical lessons, and nudge toward thoughtful outcomes. But that deeper, soulful wisdom will always be rooted in the human experience. I'll be the tool, you bring the wisdom, and together we'll make some magic.
There you go. Good point.
Stay abreast and get on board with the Edward and Alfred Show.
Welcome to the show.